Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. If I'm smiling, you're like, Mitch, why are you happy? Today was a shitty day. I mean, it was a little bit of a shitty day. Why? Because the Denver Broncos got a new star quarterback, Russell Wilson, and we're going to talk about a lot of the NFL news that ended up happening today around Wilson, around Aaron Rodgers, around Davante Adams, and then we'll also talk about some Raider stuff near the end of today's show. So Russell Wilson is now the newest member of the Denver Broncos in a deal that, I'm sorry, if you thought the Seahawks won that trade, you're insane. It was an absolute steal of a deal for Denver, which now means this. Here's the AFC West quarterbacks, man. It is an absolute gauntlet. You got Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, and then Derek Carr. So what I want you guys to do is when you were sitting there, I don't know, maybe dropping a number 2, watching something else. Maybe you're watching the Raiders Report. That'd be awesome, right? What was your one-word reaction to the trade? I want you to go down in the comments section and go ahead and let me know. My one-word reaction is, there you go. You guys can figure it out. There's a lot of 4-letter curse words that you could throw in there, but I'm not going to tell you which word I threw out, though I can say this. If I was on Rumble right now, I would be able to drop that word. So figure it out. You guys can go ahead and do so. I was not a very happy camper. More NFL news that ended up happening today was around Aaron Rodgers, and this will have an impact in some way or another around Derek Carr. So Rodgers has reportedly agreed to a 4-year, $200 million deal to return to Green Bay. He's set to make $50 million a year with $153 million of the deal guaranteed. This was from Ian Rappaport, though Rodgers has come out himself and say that the numbers of this deal aren't 100% right, which kind of just goes ahead to show that, like, nothing can ever be simple when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. The reason why this is important, though, is because what does that mean for Derek Carr? What is his contract going to end up looking like? Because if he's set to make, let's say, $40 million extension, which puts him then with his other deal, 19.9, at like $33 million a year, I mean, I never thought that it was going to happen, and now I can almost guarantee you Derek Carr is not taking anything less than $40 million a year. When you look at these highest-paid quarterbacks in the National Football League, you got Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen, Dak. They're all making over 40. Deshaun Watson's making on average $39 million a year. So if you guys remember, I said that this was my Carr contract extension projection from about 6 weeks ago. He would get a 2-year, $74 million at $37 million a year. Guaranteed money was $74 million. When you tack that 2 years onto his already 1 year at 19.9, you're looking at 3 years, 93.9. That is an average of 31.3. To be honest with y'all, this might now be a little bit too low. And the reason why I took a smaller route was because of all the rumors out there, or everything that Carr has said where he's gone out and said that he'd be willing to take less money if it meant helping the Raiders win. Personally now, like, I get the fact that he might want to make his money, but if you're telling me right now in a division with Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and Justin Herbert, and if you want to go ahead and break the bank, I think you're really doing your team a disservice. That deal that I showed up would be a good deal for Derek Carr, but more importantly, it would be a good deal for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, if the Raiders go out and they extend, I don't care, Max Crosby, Derek Carr, throw in another name out there, we're going to be covering it here on the Raiders Report. If you bleed silver and black, if you see some dude wearing a shirt like this and he starts yelling, Raiders, and you respond, this is the YouTube channel for you. So hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because you're not going to find another YouTube channel that keeps you up to date on everything going on the entire offseason. This one breaks my heart a little bit, I'm going to be honest with you. So Davante Adams, he's getting franchise tagged by the Green Bay Packers. This one's a little bit interesting because Brian Gutekunst, who, hell of a last name, but he's also the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, came out and said a few weeks ago that the plan was not to franchise tag Adams. And now they're doing it anyway. He's going to make $18.42 million. Here's the thing, unless he gets a new deal. I don't know where the Green Bay Packers are going to start pulling money out from, but I was under the impression that they didn't have this much money unless they can make a few things go around. But I know Adams is looking for $30 million. The SATs, math, school in general was not my strong suit. That's not even close to $30 million. So is Davante Adams going to be happy? Could he ask for a tag and trade? Potentially. That's all things that we're talking about. And if it does end up happening, then sure, we'll go ahead and we'll cross that bridge. But with Davante Adams getting tagged, with Chris Godwin getting tagged, Who is the top free agent wide receiver now that the Raiders can sign? Think about it. Let it marinate a little bit. Who is the top free agent wide receiver the Raiders can sign? And I'm going to tell you after I tell you about locals. And y'all, I'm telling you, I've been trying for a long time to provide y'all with more content. I'm still giving you YouTube videos every single day, but now you're getting extra videos on locals. So if you haven't already gotten these exclusive videos or expanded access, I want you to go to RaidersReport.locals.com. I put out a video. Should the Raiders sign Amari Cooper? You can go ahead and check it out. If you want to see me make a total ass of myself, I ran the 40 broad jump. I did a vertical. We did bench press. I put my combine video all out on locals. And remember, you can go ahead and get that at RaidersReport.locals.com. And for supporters only, okay? So if you become a supporter on my locals channel, my locals community over there, you're going to be invited to join my March Madness Challenge. So right now, I'm going to start sending out some emails. The winner's going to get Raiders signed memorabilia. So you remember a few weeks ago, I had a signed Tim Brown helmet for my cousin Andrew and the Valley Bros Facebook group. They're going to hook me up again. They've been kind of saying, hey, do you want to mark us down a Bo Jackson, another signed Tim Allen helmet? We're going to have something really, really awesome for y'all. And I just realized I said Tim Allen. Marcus Allen, Tim Allen, combined into one. No, Tim Brown helmet. So if you want to go ahead and have a chance to win at that stuff, and if you think you can beat me in a March Madness Challenge, go ahead, join me, RaidersReport.locals.com, and go ahead and become a supporter. So let's talk about that top free agent wide receiver. His name is... It's Allen Robinson. This one's for no Chucky heads, no doubt about it. The fact that Davante Adams tagged, Chris Godwin tagged, A-Rob is the clear-cut number one free agent wide receiver as it stands right now. And if you headed into the offseason saying, okay, we need to get Derek a true number one. I love DJ Chark. I love Christian Kirk. I love a lot of those other guys that we've brought up. Nope. There is only one true wide receiver number one left on free agency, and his name is Allen Robinson. A lot of people, they're going to go ahead and say, oh, but his stats last year, Mitch, they were so bad. You're right. They were bad. You know why? Matt Nagy's a fraud. The entire offensive scheme couldn't work around him. And Allen Robinson was also unmotivated to be there. When A-Rob, who has always worked his tail off, who also has a lot of good connections with some of the already current Raiders players. Remember, Gus Bradley, Ngakoue, a lot of close friendships there. But back in 2020 and 2019, those are good numbers. And he can also block. So if you want to be able to put A-Rob, who... Remember, the New England Patriots used to have a lot of interest in Allen Robinson. That's something to monitor. Now, I get it. 2017, he had a really bad injury, and it sucks. But in 2015, if a receiver can put up 80 catches, 1,400 yards, and 14 touchdowns with Blake Bortles, what the hell do you think he's going to do with Derek Carr? I promise you this. Josh McDaniels, Derek Carr, in that offense, Allen Robinson, you're going to be looking at easily 80 grabs, I'm going to say 1,200 yards, and I think he could get close to that double-digit touchdown number. That's how good Allen Robinson is. So, should the Raiders shift their focus to A-Rob? I want you to type that S for sign. I want you to go ahead and type P for pass. I get it. It all comes down to dollars and cents, but I do not see Allen Robinson coming off a year where he did struggle, getting a monstrous deal. Yes, he's going to be the number one guy, but if you can get Allen Robinson for, let's say, 18, 19, even $20 million per year, you type that S for sign, you sign that contract in a damn heartbeat. Did you feel that? That's how quick that you make that move happen. I love everything that A-Rob brings to the table. He is a very motivated player, and I promise y'all this, and if I'm ended up being wrong on this, come find me. You know where I'm at. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm always at the same place. But if you need to find Derek Carr a true number one, his name is Allen Robinson. And if I were to pick between paying A-Rob, let's say $18 million, or DJ Chark, let's say $12 million, I would pay A-Rob the $18 million. That's how much, that's how fondly I think of him. You guys know I love DJ Chark. But I would pay A-Rob $18 million before I went ahead and paid DJ Chark $12 million. Speaking of money, is Darren Waller about to hold out on the Las Vegas Raiders? I'm going to go ahead and give this one two no Chucky heads. I think at this current moment, it would be a coin flip. There's been a rumor circulating for quite some time that Waller has actually been very unhappy with his deal. And this was even going back to the regular season when the Raiders were playing. Remember, a lot of people were talking about, oh, he's not playing because he got a brand new agent. The agent doesn't want him to play. Vic Tafur said on Twitter, I don't know if it was yesterday or 2 days ago, that Waller wants a raise, and I don't blame him. He's got 2 years left on his deal. He's making $7 million in terms of cap hit each season. And when you look at some of these other tight ends, he's better than Hunter Henry. He's better than Jonnu Smith. I like Mark Andrews a lot, Travis Kelce, George Kittle. But those are the types of figures that Darren Waller deserves to be in. And personally, with the new agent that he got, I see Waller getting a brand new deal. And if he ends up getting one, he's going to get one of like $16 million per year. And for a lot of people, like, oh, man, that's a lot of money for a tight end. I want you to think about what a franchise-tagged wide receiver is getting, 18.4. Does anybody out here think of Darren Waller? Remember, we were always like, oh, let's put Waller at wide receiver, Foss-Moreau at tight end. $16 million for a player of Darren Waller's stature, for everything he brings on and off the field, it's still good value. If he wants $16 million, I'm giving Darren Waller $16 million. But here's the question. Let's just say the Raiders are like, you know what, Darren? You have 2 years left on your deal. We're going to extend Carr. We're going to extend Crosby. We're going to extend Hunter Renfrow. We're going to put those guys ahead of you. You have to wait until next year. Do you think that Darren Waller would hold out if he doesn't get a raise? I want you to go down to the comments, type Y for yes, or you can go ahead and type N for no. The next thing we're going to be talking about here is the Raiders' new coaching staff and all of the grades. We're going to talk about the offense. We're going to talk about the defense, special teams, the strength and conditioning guys as well. Before I break that down, I do have some exciting news. I am actually also live on Rumble. And if you guys don't know what Rumble is, it is a free, uncensored spot where you can get even more Raiders content. If you're looking for extra news, politics, you want to know what's going on in tech and business, we got you covered there. We continue to grow this show on all different platforms, and this is exciting for me because the more the show grows, the more content I can provide for y'all. So if you are a Rumble fan, if you want to go ahead and follow us on Rumble, it's rumble.com/Raiders Report. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and let's start looking at some of these Raiders brand new front office, coaching staff, all that good stuff. Dave Ziegler, Champ Kelly, Jim Abrams. You got Dwayne Joseph, Teddy Atlas, and then Jawan Daniels. Now, the Raiders might go ahead and they're obviously going to add probably a few more people, but this is just what they have on the website as of now. On the offensive side of the football, Josh McDaniels, Mick Lombardi. You were able to keep Edgar Bennett, Cameron Clemens, McDaniels, Lombardi, Brasillo, all from New England. Bo Hardigree, your quarterback's coach. Kennedy Palomalu, love that move there for the running backs coach. Jerry Shaplinski, senior offensive assistant, and then Mitch, what a terrible name that is, Singler as your offensive quality offensive quality control. I got to get some control on how to speak. So you guys can go ahead now and be the judge. A, B, C, D, or F. I want you to grade the Raiders' offensive staff. A, it's unbelievable. You absolutely love it. B, it's good. C, it's average. D, it's bad. F, I think we've all gotten an F, maybe an FU. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and give this a B+ grade. I think it is a above average staff, but until I see it, I can't give it an A. And I'm a tough grader. I've always been built that way. If the Raiders come out and they start out strong and Josh McDaniels looks like that dude and he looks like the guy who's able to put people underneath his wing and really help some of these younger players grow, then yes, I am fully on board. But until I see that, I got to give it a B+, though I do like a lot of the moves that they've made thus far. Let's go to the defensive side of the football, because at the top of the show I said, if the Raiders want to win this division, you got to do it with defense. You got Patrick Graham, Chris Ash, Matt Feeney, Frank Oakham, Antonio Pierce, Rob Ryan, and then and then Jason Simmons. I love the move of Simmons. I was really excited, honestly, about the Antonio Pierce move. The Patrick Graham out of all these might have been my favorite, if I'm being 100% with y'all. So I asked you to grade the offensive side of the football. I'd be a shitty host if I didn't ask you about the defensive side. So rate the Raiders' defensive staff. Scale it from 1 to 100. 1 being, we got the Raiders' defensive staff from 2020. We just got a whole bunch of Paul Gunthers over there. 100 being that it's absolutely the best defensive staff that you've seen. Probably the best since, I don't know, the 80s. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 90 rating from top to bottom. I think Patrick Graham is one of the best and brightest defensive minds in all of the NFL. And then when you go ahead and you talk about adding some player coaches like an Antonio Pierce, you go out and get somebody like Chris Ash, Simmons as well, you really are starting to insert some really solid people into the coaching staff on defense. And as it stands right now, I do think the defense has an upper advantage, I'll say, over our offensive staff. You'll also notice that the Raiders don't have a tight ends coach yet, so there's Still going to go out and hire someone. Let's now go to the Raiders special teams and research team. Tom McMahon, which if y'all follow the show, this is the one move that I absolutely hate. Do not understand why the Raiders went ahead and make this move. I get that McMahon had some connections, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Maurice Drayton is the assistant special teams, and then Matt Sheldon, director of football research. Maybe I'm just a Big Bang Theory, but I feel like if your last name's Sheldon, you should be pretty good at research. Let's go to Raiders strength and conditioning coaches. You got AJ Nebel, Anthony, and then Deuce Gruden, which I know a lot of y'all are really excited about, which I believe Deuce Gruden is the pound-for-pound strongest human being in the world. Like, that's not an exaggeration. I actually believe that is a fact. He is a power lifter, and I believe it's pound for pound. He's 5'4", like 200 pounds, and he's like dead clean and over 1,000 pounds. Like, if you guys haven't seen videos of Deuce Gruden, it'll make you shit yourself.